Hello everyone, my name is Ding Lu. My topic is research on current situation of energy trade between China and Kazakhstan under the background of One Belt and One Road. With the rapid growth of China's economy, China's demand for energy continues to grow. Due to the rapid growth rate, China is now facing the problem of inefficient energy supply, so it is need to rely on foreign imports to meet China's demand for energy. This paper analyzes China's energy production and consumption structure and then make a comparative analysis with Kazakhstan's energy situation. This paper is divided into 4 parts to analyze the topic. Part 1. China's energy import and export. First, national energy consumption. As shown in Figure 1, China's energy production and consumption are basically equal, and the consumption of some types of energy is higher than the production of higher energy. China mainly produced petroleum, coal, primary power, and other energy. From the perspective of energy consumption, coal consumption in China accounted for 57.7% of total energy consumption in 2019. The gap between the production and the sale of coal is very small and basically unchanged. Data from 2008 to 2019 show that China's oil consumption has increased efficiently, but its oil production has remained basically the same. In 2012, the total consumption of primary electricity and other energy exceeded the total consumption for the first time, realizing the oversupply. Since 2008, natural gas production has not been satisfied with consumption, and the gap is getting wider. In addition to electric energy, China's other energy sources such as oil and natural gas are dependent on imports. So the transformation of the world energy pattern is essential to China's energy structure. 2. China's energy import and export situation. According to data from 2008 to 2020, China ran a deficit in crude oil and natural gas trade. Although crude imports are also on the rise, they only account to about 7% of national core market supply, and are not a major energy product imported by China. Imports of oil and natural gas account for more than 70% and 40% of the national market supply, respectively. Therefore, China's energy imports are mainly crude oil and natural gas. From 2008 to 2020, China's crude oil imports increased by 3.03 times and natural gas by 22.08 times. Part 2. Kazakhstan's energy consumption and export. Kazakhstan, the world's largest landlocked country, is known as an energy and raw material base with rich reserve of oil, gas, and other minerals. The U.S. Department of Energy's Information Administration estimates that Kazakhstan has 14 billion tons of oil, 6.5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas, and 176.7 billion tons of coal reserves. It ranks 11th in soil reserves, 22nd in natural gas reserves, and 8th coal reserves. As shown in Figure 2, Kazakhstan's domestic energy consumption is dominated by coal, oil, and natural gas. However, due to its limited economic size and undeveloped industry, Kazakhstan's domestic energy demand is far smaller than its domestic production skills. According to the World Energy Statistical Yearbook in 2018, Kazakhstan consumed only 11 17.9% of its oil production, 70% of its natural gas production, and 77.1% of its coal production, mean that more than 50% of its oil and gas production were exported. Among them, oil is Kazakhstan's main energy export product, accounting for about 80% energy export, and the country is now the ninth largest crude oil exporter in the world. Kazakhstan's energy exports accounting for 50% of its foreign exchange earning and about 21% of its gross domestic product, mainly exported to other Central Asian countries as well as Europe and China. Energy exports are the main reason for Kazakhstan's rapid economic growth, as the Kazakhstan's government seeks to diversify its economy. It has imposed controls on energy exports in recent years. Part 3. Current situation of energy trade between China and Kazakhstan. First, trade basis between China and Kazakhstan. 1. Geographical advantage of China and Kazakhstan. China and Kazakhstan are neighbors to each other, laying a foundation for bilateral trade cooperation. And Kazakhstan is an important hub of China's One Belt and One Road initiative, which has brought great facilitation to the energy procurement between China and Kazakhstan and further promoted the sound political relations between the two countries. 2. Mutual benefit of China and Kazakhstan energy cooperation. 1. China is a big energy demand country. Although China's coal, oil, natural gas, coal, and other energy reserves rank among the top of the world, due to the rapid economic development, energy production is not enough to meet domestic demand, and energy dependence is high. At present, China is the largest importer of oil and gas. Opposite, Kazakhstan not only has an advantage in energy reserves but also has a unique geographical location, which makes it a major emerging force in the national energy market. 3. Security guarantee of China and Kazakhstan energy cooperation. For China, the energy cooperation provides security for energy supply and speeds up the economic development, but also to the security of China boundary areas. For Kazakhstan, the energy cooperation can promote its strategy of diversification of oil and gas exports and make Kazakhstan's regional economic structure more efficient. Second, energy trade between China and Kazakhstan. Energy exchanges between China and Kazakhstan are mainly concentrated in oil and natural gas. First, crude oil. Before 29, due to the immature transportation pipeline, the Energy transportation costs between China and Kazakhstan was too high, which limited the total amount of energy imports from Kazakhstan. In 2009, China and Kazakhstan built their own energy pipeline, which greatly promoted the energy trade between the two countries. The volume of crude oil trade between China and Kazakhstan increased efficiently. As can be seen from Table 2, before 2014, China crude oil import volume increased year by year due to the global oil market downturn and other reasons. China's crude oil import from Kazakhstan gradually decreased. Natural gas. Compared with oil trade, the volume of natural gas trade between China and Kazakhstan has been increased year by year. Part 4. Factors influencing China and Kazakhstan's energy cooperation. 1. International political factors. There are three major factors. Middle East factor, United States factor, and Russia factor. These countries are in their own interest have a certain impact on China's and Kazakhstan's cooperation. And the energy trade cooperation mechanism is not only yet perfect. In the energy trading market, buyers and sellers have an equal power of speech. In China and Kazakhstan's energy trade, China is the buyer, but in the bilateral trade, China's voice is weak. Kazakhstan is the leading part of the transaction. Once the country's policy changes, China must make changes. China is quite advanced in the development of new energy, but due to the bilateral mechanism between the two countries is not sound, relying on the strength of enterprises to open the other country's market is very difficult. 3. Energy transportation between China and Kazakhstan limit the scales of trade. Because Kazakhstan is located in the belly of Eurasia, there is no port, there is no condition to development maritime transactions. Foreign trade mainly depends on land transport. China and Kazakhstan's energy pipeline for cross-border energy pipeline transportation system is a closed fluid. The transportation system is a completed unity. When local pipe damage, second emission cooperation of the transport system. The vulnerability of pipelines is that once the local damage will make the whole pipeline transaction paralyzed, produce a series of predictable consequences. And the settlement currency affect transaction costs and risks. Although the first sulfur trade was officially settled in RMB in 2018, the US dollar is still the main settlement currency in the process of energy trade settlement between China and Kazakhstan. Therefore, the foreign influences of U.S. dollar exchange rate will affect the trade cost and exchange rate risk of both sides. In order to promote the further development of bilateral energy trade between two countries, this paper put forward four suggestions. 1. Establish a police communication mechanism between China and Kazakhstan. 2. Improve the diversified cooperation system for energy trade between China and Kazakhstan. 3. Strengthen infrastructure construction in Kazakhstan. 4. Enhance the settlement foundation of RMB in bilateral energy cooperation and trade. That's all. Thank you very much.